Patient snafus, they've left many, from athletes to journalists, stranded. Well, Tom Johnson with Team WIS is joining us now live from Atlanta. Tom, what are Atlanta organizers saying about the IOC's claim that some things are in shambles there?
Well, Ed, first of all, the IOC stopped a little short of calling the games an organizational disaster, but they did demand that ACOG, that's the Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games, fix a few transportation and computer problems. Some of the buses have been running late, getting lost, or not showing up at all. That's mainly where it's been affecting athletes, officials, and the media. There have also been some delays in getting competition results. That's some computer glitches, but today the IOC is saying that things are already improving and will continue to improve. But as this is going on, we have some breaking news. One Atlanta radio station is reporting that part of the MARTA subway line has been shut down. It's the northbound line due to some sort of electrical problem up there. We're still trying to figure that out, but it is going to cause some further delays for commuters who are trying to get in and out of the city, and for folks who are trying to get to their Olympic venues or out of their Olympic venues, as it might be tonight. Ed?
Nothing runs perfectly, Tom. Even with the glitches here and there, visitors are still having lots of fun, apparently. I understand there's even a new event called pin trading.
Yeah, you might notice that I have a few pins around my neck right here. It is really a big deal, and none of us really realize what a big deal I don't think pin trading is until we got here. We've been doing a little trading around the NBC News channel. However, the trading that's going on here is nothing compared to trading in other parts of the city.
Nah, that wasn't. No way. Pin's good pin.
They fill Centennial Park every day.
This one's pretty, it's gone for a lasting stage, and this one's for Sydney in 2000.
Pin traders, they are everywhere.
How much is this one?
Almost as many pins as pin traders, and it is serious stuff. How long have you been doing this?
I bought my first Olympic pin in 1960 when I was about 13 years old. They had a
Hobby for some.
Well, for me, it's history. You know, like this pin here's from Lake Placid, New York, 1980. I've got several pins from Mexico in 1968.
Fun for others.
Oh, I like that one. Different.
Yeah, it's a press pin, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
No, that was the only one I got.
All business for the rest. Some deals work out.
Good trade.
That's a good trade. I was wanting this for my mom. It's her birthday next week.
Other deals don't.
Is there a hole back there that your brains are actually leaking out of? Oh, man. No. For the truck? Let's go. Most of the time, deals don't happen around here. Right?
Right.
Say, unless you're dealing for cheap stuff.
But if it's an Olympic pin deal you're looking for, Centennial Park is the place to be. Well, now here are some of the hotter pins that are out there. These two right here are part of a 3-pin set. They are part of Olympic security. These are the pins that the security guards are actually given when they're working. This one over here is called the bid pin, and there have been some folks who have actually been paying $300 to $600, if you can believe it, for this very pin right here. So it is serious business for some folks. Ed?
Some wheeling and dealing going on, Tom.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir.
Sumter County Sheriff wants to close the book on a painful chapter in that community's history. Sheriff Tommy Mims was reacting today to a grand jury's action in the case of one of his deputies. The grand jury failed to return an indictment in connection with the fatal shooting of Bubba Lawson. Senior reporter Jack Kinsey says Mims has already sent his officer back on the street.
Sumter County Sheriff's officers hit the street, their numbers up by 1. Deputy Harold Thames, the officer at the center of a controversial shooting, returned to street work today for the first time in nearly 6 months. Thames shot 21-year-old Bubba Lawson. It happened in February as Thames tried to serve Lawson with a warrant. Authorities say Lawson tried to drive away in his van with Thames hanging on and eventually firing the fatal gunshot. Family, neighbors, and others denounced the deputy.
This boy been murdered in cold blood for nothing, no reason.
But a grand jury didn't see it that way. Last Friday, the jury refused to indict Thames. Sheriff Tommy Mims did not want Thames to appear on camera today, but says he was taken off a desk job and returned to active patrol. Mims says he is not forgetting Lawson's death.
I've always said our sympathies and our thoughts go out to the Lawson family because they have lost a member of their family.
Mims says sometimes deadly force is necessary.
A great number of black folks in this community don't trust the sheriff.
The NAACP's Carl Holmes isn't convinced. Holmes says authorities rigged a case presented to a mostly white jury.
They haven't resolved anything. As a matter of fact, we're not surprised of the verdict.
Still, Mims is hoping the jury's decision will help heal the community.
I think that things are coming back around. I certainly hope that we don't have any further incidences like this happen ever.
Now, the Sheriff's Department isn't completely out of the woods just yet. The victim's family still has a civil suit pending, and the deposition process will keep this case active for weeks to come. In Sumter, Jack Kinsey, WIS News.
The NAACP is also pursuing a federal civil rights investigation against the Sheriff's Department. Well, Governor Beasley is being criticized for what some say is a lack of progress on improving race relations in South Carolina. A panel the governor named in December is holding a series of public hearings across the state, like this one last month in Florence, the purpose to gather citizen input on improving race relations. Beasley says he hopes to make recommendations by the end of the year, but Columbia Senator Darrell Jackson says that's not fast enough. Jackson says churches have burned while the governor's commission holds meetings. Another state commission is facing criticism tonight. Governor David Beasley is reviewing a request to remove a board member from the South Carolina Commission for the Blind. The agency dodged restructuring and operates independently with a board and a commissioner. State House reporter Heather Hoops has more on the commission that serves some 14,000 South Carolinians.
She's doing extra good.
In a classroom at the South Carolina Commission for the Blind, teacher Leroy Moss shows an upstate teen how to read Braille. The training is one of the agency's many services. Located in a small complex on Bull Street, the agency operates on an annual budget of $9.4 million. Normally, the commission maintains a low profile, but now it is in turmoil. Commission board member Earlene Gardner is fighting to keep her job.
I have never been so shocked.
Seen here in 1993, Gardner, who is legally blind, spoke to lawmakers on behalf of the agency. Gardner has served on the board since 1977. Last month, the State Ethics Commission warned Gardner for wrongly claiming lunches on state vouchers. Board members like Robert Harrelson of Mullins want the governor to dismiss Gardner.
Then hopefully that will resolve our problems and we'll be able to go forward.
From Macon, where she lives, Gardner maintains she's being ousted for highlighting problems in the agency.
I would never knowingly take anything that was not mine. I am a giver. Board meetings have cost me more money than I could ever regain.
Many in the blind community, like Hattie Waymeyer, side with Gardner. Waymeyer says blind people are suffering because of mismanagement at the agency. However, Waymeyer says fear keeps people from speaking out.
There are other people that have an interest in the agency, but they are afraid to talk about it. And I know exactly why they're afraid. I'm a little bit afraid, but I just can't stop.
For the blind community, this is a huge issue. Opinions are divided. A spokesperson for the governor's office says just as many people are speaking out in support of Earlene Gardner. And Governor Beasley is reviewing the situation. However, the spokesperson says there's no guarantee he'll make a decision by the end of the month. Heather Hoops, WIS News.
Commission for the Blind board members say they hope to hold off on having a monthly meeting until Governor Beasley decides what to do. Senator Strom Thurmond is asked to help speed up the investigation into the TWA crash. Relatives of a victim from Florence say the investigation is dragging.
The Olympics are underway, but it seems it's not business as usual in Atlanta. Due to the impact on the city's economy, Ford has diverted shipments of new Fords away from Atlanta. The destination, Pulliam Ford in Columbia. A spokesman had this to say.
Ford can't cut production. As a volume dealer, they need our help. For us, that means an overflow situation. We're selling at invoice prices, giving more money on trades, whatever it takes.
During the Olympics, the best souvenirs may be right here in Columbia with great savings from Pulliam.
Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame is in theaters. Will today be the day? You're ready to fly. And it looks like everybody's getting into the act with the puppets from Burger King.
Don't thank me. Thank Quasimodo.
Your kids can collect all four, only $1.99 each, with any value meal. The Hunchback of Notre Dame puppets, only at Burger King.
Closed captioning of the 7 o'clock report is brought to you by Baptist Medical Center and Policy Management Systems Corporation.
While some people talk about bringing back traditional values, there are places where it never left. Places where a handshake is a contract, where people take pride in a hard day's work. And because these people aren't rich or poor, but just sort of in the middle like most of us, they'll need a bank to help them. Through good times and bad, they'll hang in there, and so will we. BB&T. You can tell we want your business.
In today's business world, competition is fierce. Business communications need to be clear and concise. More businesses are turning on to the power of video than ever before. Sales and marketing, product demos, employee orientation, and recruiting. You get one shot. Take 10 will guide you through every step of the video communication process. From the first idea to the final product, Take 10 can turn your message into an effective business communication. WIS Take 10 Productions. We produce solutions.
Hear WIS News on the radio 24 hours a day. WIS News Radio 1320 AM.
The family of Matt Alexander, the Florence man killed in last week's TWA crash, is asking for help from Representative Jim Clyburn and Senator Strom Thurmond. Family says the investigation into the crash is slow-moving and they want help speeding it up. Alexander from Florence was a rising senior at Wake Forest and was on his way to study in France. He's believed to have been among the 230 who perished in the crash. So far, fewer than half of the bodies have been recovered and only about 50 identified. The Alexander family is concerned about delays in the forensic work of the Suffolk County, New York medical examiner. Late this afternoon, searchers are said to have found a large piece of the wreckage along with additional bodies. It was exactly 1 year ago today that Susan Smith was found guilty of drowning her 2 young sons. The crime shocked the entire nation, the small town of Union where it took place. Smith was sentenced to life in prison. In education news tonight, South Carolina State University's board has passed its $63 million budget, which includes some pay raises and money for preparing university schools for accreditation. Temperature wasn't too terrible today, but the heat index was way up there. Joe Penner's coming up with the weather outlook for the week ahead. And checking financial news from Wall Street, investors lack the confidence in technology issues pulled back today, making the market drop lower. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 35 points to 5,390. Volume on the New York Exchange totaled more than 334 million shares traded.
This WIS News Stock Report has been brought to you by Carolina First, the bank that South Carolina first.
$79 a month. $79 a month on new Nissan BTP trucks.
Say hello to
Dick Smith's Blockbuster Celebration from the Carolina Nissan Superstore. We've got your new truck. $79 a month. A new 96 BTP truck with air and the options you want. Don't delay. $79 a month.
That's why folks have that Dick Smith smile.
New Pathfinder, Maxima, Ultima, Sentra, Blockbuster savings, and truck. $79 a month. Dick Smith and Columbia Nissan. And now Dick Smith Nissan and Lugov.
Dick Smith.
Help your child to success by 6. An assignment education message from Bell South.
Being a dad takes more than 40 hours a week. A dad reads his child a bedtime story, holds her hand at the doctor's, shows her where the Big Dipper is. So put in some overtime with your kids. Remember, any guy can be a father, but it takes a special man to be a dad.
I want you all to remember one thing. There is no second chance.
It means financing the construction of 19 venues and a village that will be home to 15,000 athletes and coaches. It means designing systems that can handle the immediate financial needs of 170 broadcast organizations and providing banking services for visitors from nearly 200 countries.
Currency exchange will be taken care of.
It's a financial undertaking so complex that until now, no single bank had even attempted it.
Has it gone up? Our performance is critical.
And where did the Atlantic Committee for the Olympic Games find the financial support for nearly every aspect of the Games? The same place millions of Americans have found a partner to answer their financial needs. Right around the corner, at a bank called Nations Bank.
We want these Olympics to be the best ever.
Almost about to sneeze here. It's time to check in with Joe Fenner.
You going to sneeze?
You can go ahead and I'll go sneeze.
Okay, all right. Well, it's the weather's nothing to sneeze at. It's rather warm out there, I will admit to that. But hey, it's summertime, and it's kind of feeling good with a nice breeze. You haven't sneezed yet.
Like summer, I'll tell you.
It does feel like summer. Well, this is the 22nd of July. Let's look at our. It should feel like summer. Let's look at our weather log. 97 at the airport. Hey, that's summer. 99 in the city. Morning lows of 75 at both spots, and a quarter of an inch of rain at the airport and a thunderstorm that popped up this afternoon. Nothing in the city. In fact, as we look around the city right now, we see a beautiful sunset, and the temperature is coming in at the present time at 92 degrees, humidity 54%, southwesterly winds at 12, our barometer 29.84. It's rising, the heat index 102. It's been up to about 107. That's getting up to the dangerous category. NBSC, the National Bank of South Carolina, brings you the WeatherNet report, and Jesse Brown in Great Falls flop by 96 degrees, and we see Alan Moore in Darlington 98 degrees, Jamie Gunter in Lexington, the century mark. And at 7 o'clock, a thunderstorm has cooled things down in Florence a little bit. Everything is relative. 79 degrees and 90 in Myrtle Beach, but watch out, Myrtle Beach. We'll show you why in just a moment. 80 in Beaufort, and then we have an 89 up in Greenville, 90 over in Camden, 91 in Charlotte Rock Hill. On radar, there's a thunderstorm warning out until 7:15, I beg your pardon, 7:50 for Horry County. You can see this mess right here, and it's moving toward the Myrtle Beach area. It's already in Horry County and part of Williamsburg, so do be advised. Here's what's causing the situation. We have an unstable air mass. We have a trough running right through the southern parts and the eastern part of South Carolina down into the crown of Florida. And this has been exciting. Some thunderstorms today. This front's expected to stay just about in the same position. Thunderstorms continuing rather heavy in the Midwest. No action out west except just hot. No major change, so the forecast is going to be about the same for the next several days. Partly cloudy tonight, thunderstorms ending, and lows in the 70s with southwesterly winds up to 15 along the coast. And isolated thunderstorms again tomorrow, very similar to today. You may or may not get the rain that a lot of folks are yelling for. Temperatures in the mid-90s to the upper 90s here in the Midlands, to 91 in Myrtle Beach, and winds south-southeasterly 5 to 10 inland and 10 to 20 over the coast. For Columbia tonight, partly cloudy, low of 76, and then for tomorrow, partly cloudy, isolated thunderstorms, high of 96 degrees. And as we say, the Olympic forecast for Atlanta is about the same. Our outlook with no changes, therefore, partly cloudy, chance of thunderstorms each day, isolated in fashion. 96 to the low 90s and mid-70s to the low 70s at night. So that's it. Until something comes to push it all away, we're going to stick with that.
Not much variety in that outlook. It won't look the same there.
No, variety is not the spice of weather life.
Okay,
all right.
Thanks, Joe. More news from the summer games still to come tonight. Rick Henry joins us live from Atlanta with a Clemson connection to the Olympics.
It took sparks of imagination to build the car that would best the Honda Accord. The result? Chrysler Cirrus, with a higher resale value, more standard features, and more passenger and cargo space. When you set a new standard, you expect a reaction, and priced thousands less than a comparably equipped Accord, Chrysler Cirrus is sure to get one.
Carolina Chrysler Plymouth, proud to be the official vehicles of the Carolina Panthers.
Baptist Medical Center salutes the Olympic athletes. From our team to yours, best of luck in Atlanta.
Dodge Dakota is #1 in resale versus Ford, Chevy, and GMC. #1 in passenger room, even #1 in cargo room. In fact, Dodge Dakotas are #1 in more categories versus any compact. So it should come as no surprise that across America, Dodge pickups are #1 in sales growth. Get up to $4,000 off Dodge Dakota, including $1,500 cash back. See the cars and trucks of the Carolina Panthers at your hometown Carolina Dodge dealers.
Hey, I'm Alexi Lawless from the U.S. soccer team. Be sure to fill up with high-quality BP Super 93. and pick up the BP Super Soccer Ball for just $5.99. It's available only at BP stations with an 8-gallon purchase of high-octane BP Super 93, the official gasoline of U.S. Soccer. You get great gasoline, this great ball, plus you're helping support the U.S. soccer teams competing this summer. Get on the ball.
BP, we keep you moving.
You're watching WIS News with Rick Henry covering the Olympics from Atlanta. Brought to you by Companion Healthcare, a subsidiary of Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina.
Let's check on to Mark Quinn now, and you got a little Clemson connection with the Olympic Games?
Yeah, and a big one too, Ed. We followed a couple of guys all spring long, and now they're in Atlanta for the Olympics. Big deal. Later on tonight, USA's baseball team will take on South Korea. Now on Saturday, the U.S. got the best of Nicaragua in their opening round game. Throughout most of their exhibition schedule this summer, USA's offensive prowess has grabbed most of the headlines, but make no mistake, the boys in red, white, and blue can throw some strikes as well. Our Team WIS coverage continues tonight in Atlanta, where Rick Henry is there to tell us all about a pair of former Clemson standouts who are a big part of USA's march to the gold. Rick?
Mark, really, it's a big night for team sports here at the Olympics. The Dream Team is taking on Angola, and the U.S. men's soccer team is in Birmingham. They're facing Tunisia, and out at Fulton County Stadium, the U.S. baseball team is going against Korea. Now, the theme song for the U.S. baseball team should be Tiger Rag, because 3 Clemson Tigers are hoping to make a big impact here in Atlanta.
The USA baseball team goes through a Sunday workout at Emory University, but Clemson pitcher Chris Benson doesn't participate. Benson is down and out with the stomach flu. He says he'll be ready for his next start Thursday against Japan. Fellow Clemson pitcher Billy Koch isn't scheduled to start until the U.S.'s 5th game on Saturday. Until then, he'll come out of the bullpen as a reliever.
I mean, I'd love to be a starter, just strictly starter, but hey, it's the Olympics.
Benson and Koch are sharing the Olympic experience with another Tiger teammate, catcher Matt LaCroix. Clemson is the only school with 3 players on the 20-man Team USA roster.
It's nice to share this moment so we don't have to go back and kind of tell each other about it. You know, if someone had gotten cut, you know, we would have had to gone back and tell them about it.
To have 2 other teammates on a team like this, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's surprising, you know, because you wouldn't think that kind of talent would be in one place.
There's also a Gamecock among all these Tigers, Carolina's new head coach, Ray Tanner. He says he doesn't mind joining forces with Clemson to welcome the world to the South.
It's a great event for us, and we're excited. We feel like we can tell a lot of people what's going on around here, and just a special thing to be a part of.
Now, Mark, it's already a very, very big Centennial Olympic Games for those 3 Tigers and Coach Ray Tanner. Chris Benson was the winning pitcher on Saturday, and Matt LaCroix, guess who he walked in with during opening ceremonies? Carl Lewis. So he's got a good story to tell his grandkids. Mark, back to you.
Rick, let me ask you a question real quick. Still a consensus that USA and Cuba the favorites for the gold?
That's it. If the U.S. is going to win the baseball gold, they're going to have to go through Cuba, and guess what? They match up next week. Can't wait for that one.
That will be a good matchup. Thanks a lot, Rick. See you tonight on Nightcast. Well, coming up later tonight on Nightcast, after our coverage of the Olympics, Rick will have a complete wrap-up of the day's events there in Atlanta. Well, not a good day for U.S. Olympic swimmer Janet Evans. She fails to qualify for the finals of an event for the first time in her 3 trips to the Games. She finished 9th during qualifying this morning. There was controversy, though, when another swimmer, Michelle Smith of Ireland, entered the event after the mandatory deadline in the 400-meter free. She may have taken the spot that Evans thought belonged to her. The U.S. protested, but to no avail.
I think for me it's a little disappointing because, I mean, I would have been 8th, and I'm a really good night swimmer. So that's disappointing, but like I told NBC a few minutes ago, the Olympics is about the best swimmers swimming. So, I mean, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it as unfair, which it is a little bit because she didn't really play by the rules, or you can look at it like, you know, Olympics are supposed to be for the best athletes in the world.
Disappointment and controversy in Atlanta for Janet Evans, but she will still go down in history as one of the best of all time.
No doubt, yeah. Thanks, Mark.
You bet.
We'll be right back with more of the 7 o'clock report. Stay with us.
Rick Henry covers the Olympics from Atlanta. Tonight's report is brought to you by Companion Healthcare, a subsidiary of Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. Is South Carolina's education making the grade? Assignment Education finds out only on WIS News.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days, where you can lease Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $0 down and $319 a month. Or lease Cherokee Sport for $0 down and $259 a month, including no charge air. And deals that are truly steamy on the all-new Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
Lease a Jeep with $0 down only at your Carolina Jeep and Eagle dealer.
What if I burn myself? What if the pole breaks? What if this guy throws a left when I'm expecting a right? What if I hit my head on the backboard?
What if something happens to my little girl?
What if there were a healthcare organization that covered the U.S. Olympic team, so the only thing our athletes would have to worry about is pursuing their dreams?
What if I fall off the platform?
What if you didn't have to worry about healthcare? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of South Carolina.
Yo, Dad, Mom, anybody? Read to me. Headlines, stock page, hey, classifieds. Anything will do. This looks thrilling. Okay, so I won't understand a word you're saying. Research proves that kids who are read to before age 6 have a greater chance of being successful as adults. It's a concept called Success by 6, and your local electric cooperative believes in it so much, they asked me to tell you about it. Your local electric cooperative. As soon as I'm governor, I'm going to give them all a raise.
Finally tonight, in the spirit of the Olympics, the Dream Team's big man throws a big bash in Hotlanta. Dream Teamer Shaquille O'Neal hosted a party last night for his basketball teammates. They rolled out the red carpet at the Baja Club in Atlanta's prestigious Buckhead area. Security was tight as fellow Olympians Reggie Miller and Scottie Pippen dropped in. Even former Olympic boxer Evander Holyfield made an appearance. The Dream Team's next match is later tonight at the Georgia Dome. You can watch it right here on WIS and NBC. That's our news for now. Have a good night.
Today's Olympic coverage on WIS is brought to you locally in part by Pulliam Ford and Baptist Medical Center.
I feel that you should buy your seafood from me because I have personalized service. One-to-one, face-to-face, eye-to-eye service. I want you to have exactly what you want and nothing less. If you want the filet that's on the bottom, way up front, I want you to have that filet too. And to me, that's the difference between going to some other store and coming to my store. Is you will get exactly what you want. And if I can't give it to you, I will find a way to get it for you.
Some of the world's favorite things are made right here in South Carolina.
This is the laboratory of Perception Kayaks.
Welcome to Park Sea.
But that only seems natural in a state with this kind of beauty and people with a spirit to match. Good things are bound to be created. Maybe that's why we know there's no problem too big to solve if we work together. Just take a look around at good things we make all across this state in the spirit of Carolina.
Home Improvement's Jonathan Taylor Thomas on Live.